Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. Just checking if it's all set up. Yeah, we're golden. Okay, today we're going to talk about Clough Rd and we're going to talk about some shocking numbers. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel because we've changed some certain things around. I'm recording this on Tuesday when it's going out. And yesterday we had a great day. We changed some things around. We had a meeting, we had a conversation, and we have changed certain things around, and it already started to get immediate results, which is fantastic. This is why I love self-storage, because there's levers to pull for different areas. So if you're not getting your quotes, and you've got to look at your website, you've got to look at Hotjar to make sure, see where people are going on the website and why aren't they clicking there. If you're getting the visitors to the website, then you've got to look at your marketing. Is it your SEO? Is it your pay-per-clicks? What is breaking down there? And so we always know what the problem is by it's like going to a doctor and I've got a broken arm. You don't start looking at someone's foot, you go and start looking at the arm. So if it's quotes, you're not getting the quotes, you know there's a problem somewhere along that pipeline. And so we've mapped out exactly when we've got an issue with a certain criteria, with a certain metrics, then we know exactly what sort of a pipeline we look at. So if you've got a leak in a house, you don't go looking around every single pipe in the house. You start by localizing it to try and find exactly where that leaky pipe is. And that's exactly what we do with self-storage. That's why self-storage is such a great business model, because we can know almost immediately what the problem is and how we can diagnose a solution. And that's why I like self-storage. And also, I want to put a caveat here, because I did get tons of messages saying, keep going, Dean, you're all right, you'll get there in the end. And that was lovely, really, really appreciative. It's amazing what sort of a community we've grown up in for hacking self-storage. But you guys care so much, which I love you for it. It's so nice. But what I want to also get across is that sometimes that, as positive as I am, I can come across doom and gloom, and I don't actually mean to be. I'm just very, very honest and thinking, oh fuck, we've had a shit week. When if we look at where we are and where my projection says we are, it's going incredibly well. Is Clough Rd incredibly well? It's the best site I've ever opened. Don't get me wrong, I've only opened 3. With the 4th one opening in early part of next year. But it's going in. I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. So I'm very, very lucky, and I feel very, very blessed. It's just that the reason why we've had a bad week and the reason why we seem to have lost momentum is because, one, we haven't got a lift in. So I do believe that, yes, the team say that we never mention lift, we never mention lift, we don't make a problem of it. But in the back of my mind, like I was talking to JP yesterday, we got 150 square foot moving in on Monday or something. And he's, fingers crossed it'll be okay with the lift, and because we ain't got a lift. So subconsciously, I'm sure we're projecting that, because we care about the customers, and we expect a lift when we go in, but the customers don't know there's going to be a lift or not a lift. And so we haven't actually told them there's no lift, but subconsciously, I know that may be coming across to the customers when we talk about price, etc. And so that's one of the reasons. Another reason why we stalled a little bit is purely because we haven't had the room. We've only opened it up last week, this extra phase. And so before that, we couldn't take any bookings, and we put the prices right up. And now we're going to have to put the prices right down again, because what you do at maturity, because downstairs maturity depends how full you are. Obviously, we're not officially called a mature site yet, but how you act at one level of occupancy is completely different to how you act at another level of occupancy. So because we was 85, 90% full, then obviously we put the prices up. But now we've got the extra room, we're back down to 45% full. And so we've got to change how we've been acting, the approach we've been taking, because in the final couple of weeks before phase 2 open, we only had a couple of units to go at. And so therefore, whoever takes them units is going to pay a massive premium. Why? Because we've only got it's supply and demand. And so therefore, we put the prices right up, and our revenue per square foot went up. And so now what we've got to do is discount them back down again, because we're playing the occupancy game now. We're playing the occupancy. That's what we want to do. We want to, the biggest criteria for me is making sure we get people in. And so we've got to make sure that we play the game again and make sure that we are competitive on price. We were by far and away the most expensive before, and now we've got to make sure that we're the most competitive, or one of the most competitive around. And so to make sure we get the occupancy in. So we're getting the quotes. That's not the problem. Reservations, we're only hitting 7%. So that was last week. So that's not good. Move-ins were terrible last week. And so we know the problem. We know the problem, and we looked at the problem. But also what you have to do, and I'm gonna go into this on Friday's episode, because this is a real hack. we copy other people's self-storage. I do a lot of mystery shopping all the time because I want to know what somebody else does. And we found out a couple of weeks ago what this certain company were doing. I won't name them because I don't think it's fair, but they're a very, very well-run, respected organization. And there was something that they was doing in their follow-up, which I thought, holy shit, that's a game changer. That is good. And I'm going to tell you all about it on Friday. And it's worked immediately. We started it, I think, Sunday. And already on Monday, we had somebody reserve a 150 square foot room just because of this one thing that we changed. And I'll tell you all about it on Friday. It is a game changer. And Armadillo do something like this, and Big Yellow, something like this. Kind of, not the same. They script it in a different way. But again, we'll go into that on Friday. And so the problem that I was having at Clough Rd was the conversions. The conversions were down. And the reason why the conversions were down is because the prices were still high, because we were still playing in the price per square foot. We wanted to gain price per square foot. And we hadn't changed it enough based on the occupancy. We were still playing as though it was 85% full. And also, yeah, we have only just opened phase 2. And so everybody else who wanted a self-storage unit, we only had a couple of sizes. So we've been turning people away. Now we've got it back open. Now we've got units to play at. We've got a lot there for people. So now we've got to make sure that we're competitive on price to gain the occupancy. And then when you've got the occupancy, then you start turning the screw for revenue management. So we've changed the price, and we've also changed a bit of a follow-up, which we changed across the board now, because it's so good. Is how we do things. And we've already, I think yesterday we got 3 reservations, which was more than, well, a joint. It was the same as we did last week, the whole of last week. So already worked well. Right, let's get into the numbers. Amount of quotes, 41. Number of reservations were 3. So we got 150 square foot reserve, basically. And that's a conversion rate of reservations to quotes of 7.32%. That is the second lowest we've ever hit. The lowest was because we had no units. That was in the end of June, which we couldn't do anything about, but we can do something about it now. And do you know what? It's a little bit on me because when I was on holiday, I didn't realize the prices were still showing as high occupancy prices. I didn't realize until I looked into the figures. I had a comparison of what we was at fill up to what we was when we was 85, 90% full. And when I compared them, I was like, whoa, this was yesterday. No wonder, right? We've got to make sure that we discount the prices again. And then once we get to the occupancy level, the optimum occupancy level, then we can make sure we do that. We can make sure we twist that screw again. But that was on me because I just presumed that, I don't know why I presumed, because I ain't done it. And so, yeah, you live and learn, don't you? I was on holiday and I didn't, as soon as phase 2 should have opened, I should have been right. Okay, proactive. Let's get on it. Let's make sure. And the problem is I've got no one else to blame. I just presumed the team would do it. And obviously, why would they? I'm the boss. I set the prices. Why would they change the prices? It's just ridiculous. And so I'll take full responsibility for that. Obviously. By the way, if you're a business owner, everything's your fault. It doesn't matter. Everything is your fault. There's a great book from Jacko Willink, and he talks basically about taking responsibility for everything in your life, whether you can really attribute it to somebody else. No, bollocks to that. It's your fault. If go very, very high level. If your wife cheats on you, it's your fault. What do you mean? Well, you've clearly done something wrong. I got that from Tony Robbins, and it's just. What else? Even down to the economy, when loads of people lost their businesses in COVID. Yes, there's some businesses that couldn't have done anything about it, but could you have done something about it before? Still your fault. Take responsibility. We've got to take responsibility for everything that happens in our life. It's our fault, and so no matter what, it's my responsibility. I'm the owner of a business. My responsibility. And so when I was away, then I should have contacted the team and said, look, okay, what are the prices? What are the conversions? Right, we need to go. Although I don't want to be too hard on myself because it's only this week's figures that I've got when I've realized, holy shit, this is why, by the way, it's so important to look at figures and that's why doing the podcast is so important, because I look at these figures. I already looked at the figures anyway, but it keeps me accountable. I looked at these figures and I thought, whoa, there's a problem here. look at the reservations. Last week, the reservations were 20%. This week, the reservations were 2%. Sorry, 7%. So there's clearly an issue there. Last week, the move-ins was 29% conversion rate from quotes to move-ins. This week, it was 0%. And so, yes, I could have, I'm being reactive because I've only reacted as soon as we saw the figures after the week, but I could have been more proactive. I suppose I'm being proactive now because it's only been 1 week, but I could have been more proactive and thought, okay, the conversions are going to go down. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do something about it now. So after 1 week, we've made the change now, and we've changed the prices. And by the way, it's Store More Clough Rd. By the way, if anybody wants to check out the website, don't do any fake quotes. It wrecks my figures. And I know I'm asking you not to do fake quotes for me, but I do with everybody else. So but yeah, fire away. By the way, I don't know, just do it if you want to do it. So 41 quotes last week. So it's a really, really good week on quotes. That was the joint third most quotes we've ever had. So we're getting the quotes. The quotes are coming in. And so we know that it's the reservations. Is it the sales pattern? What is it? Is it there's only a certain amount of reasons that they're not reserving units. And so we need to pick apart what the reason is. Is it the sales process? Could it be better? Yes, the sales process has been improved because, again, we check in on other people's sales processes and then we'll take something on board from somebody else, and we'll mix and match. So yes, we've improved the sales process, which I'll tell you about on Friday's episode. And we've also discounted the prices because price was a factor. We've also found out, can I say this? I don't think I can because I get told loads of things, and I can't. If anybody tells me something and says don't ever say anything, I'll never ever tell anybody. And somebody's told me something about how they do it, and they haven't given me permission to share it on the podcast. So I can't really share it because they might get in trouble. Okay, so number of move-ins. This is going to be simple. No move-ins, no amount of square foot moved in. Moving conversion 0. So that was simple. So 0, 0, 0. So no move-ins. Brilliant. Amount of move out. This gets better. This gets better. Oh, this is heartbreaking. Number of rooms moved out 6. Amount of square foot moved out 870. So I don't like doing public maths, but I feel comfortable enough here and confident enough to do it. So we've had 870 square foot moved out, and we've had 0 square foot moved in. So we've lost 870 square foot last week. Oh, that was horrible. There was something else here. Sheet 2. What was this talking about? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I've got another sheet. I just got another tab opened and I didn't know what the other tab was the first time I've seen it. Right, so let's have a look where the quotes came from then, and then we'll get into some other nitty-gritty figures. So Bing was 1 quote. We got 1 quote from Bing. Wow. Google, 28. So 68% of our quotes came from Google. 7 was social media, 17%. Oh, sorry, signs and passing by, 7. So that's 17%. Social media was 2, that's 5%. Word of mouth was 2, and that's 5% as well. It says 1, customers with incorrect responses or something. So I don't know what that means. Okay. And by the way, last week, if you remember me telling you guys about there's been a problem with my spreadsheet versus what Store is saying, and there's been 2 problems. The problems were twofold. Number 1 was human error. We made some errors. And number 2 was, for some reason, Storer doesn't put somebody's move out on a Sunday. Apparently, I've been told. I don't know how, I presume it's true. But for some reason, if you move out on a Sunday on Storer, it doesn't go onto the figures until the following Monday, which I don't quite understand. There must be a reason for it, but I don't quite understand what the reason is for that. So that's why it just didn't marry up correctly with our weekly figures compared to Storer's weekly figures. And so now we know we've adjusted it and made sure everything's correct. Okay, so let's have a look. So the underlying figures are not too bad. They're not too bad at all. So if we look at the gross revenue, because cash is king, that's all we're about, really, taking money. Fundamentally, cash, revenue, bottom line, that's the biggest factor. That's the holy grail. We've taken £11,524.99 so far this month. That's a 9.97% increase from last month. If you remember at the start of this month, I said if we stay on par or just go just a little bit above what we took last month, I'll be more than happy, because we was doing phase 2 and I knew that we didn't have many move-ins due because we didn't know when phase 2 was going to be finished. So if we compare that to how it was last month, this time last month, it was £10,375.95. So we're, like I said, 9% up. We're about 1,200 quid up, which is good. It's golden. So for me, we're not going to take the 15,000, but we're not going to be too short. We're going to be around about 14,000 this month takings, which is incredible. £14,000 takings, actual takings for a new site after what? February, March, April, May, June. So like 5-6 months. I think that's incredible. I think that really is fantastic. And the break-even point, even paying back all my loans and everything, is only going to be around about 20,000. Don't know exactly what, because I've got some more loans to put through. So yeah, and we're going to hit 14,000 already, and it's going to go up next month as well. Oh, it might do, but the month after it'll go up. Monthly recurring revenue, if everybody was paying full price, it'd be £19,063.15. 30 days ago, it was £17,833.80. So again, it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. A 6% increase, 6.45% increase, which you would take. You would take that because we know we have many move-ins. Excuse me. The occupancy level is 46.62%. 30 days ago, it was 46.68%. So it's dropped by 0.06. So not much action really. To be fair, we have had some move-ins today, which looks like it's in. Looks like we have like 400 square foot moving today, which is pretty good. Right, the rent per square foot is £18.32. If we look 30 days ago, it was £17.09. That has dropped, by the way, from yesterday. It was over £19 yesterday. So again, I would continue to see this to decline. I think it might get around about £16 per square foot on average, maybe a bit more, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but then what we'll do is we don't want to go below £16 per square foot, and then we'll start going up again once we get the occupancy in. Is there anything else I can tell you? The whole occupancy at the minute, the current occupancy is 8,215 out of 17,620 lettable square foot. So yeah, see if I can find out exactly what the highest occupancy was. The highest occupancy, 8,300, 8,500, 8,600, bloody hell, 8,665. Oh, holy shit. 8,815 was our highest occupancy. Yes. So 8,815. So 8,800 what? 8,815. So we're exactly 600 away from our highest occupancy. So not the end of the world, is it? But like I say, I really, really appreciate all the messages, and it's not doomsday or anything like that. It's doing phenomenally well. But the great thing is, I do think it's an advantage that when something goes wrong, or not goes wrong, when something is declining or the trajectory has slowed down or momentum has slowed down, then I'm on it. I obsess about it, and I want to find a way. I want to find what the reason is, what mechanisms can we change, what levers can we pull to make sure that we maximize our revenue and maximize the profit that we're making. So as soon as I see something tweaking on these weekly figures, this is why for me it's so important, because I get to see the weekly figures on a consistent basis out of 10 years. I've got all these weekly figures, I've got all these data points. So therefore I know immediately if something isn't where it should be. And then if it's not where it should be, then I want to know why. And I want to basically change it. I'm getting a phone call for some reason. I'll never get a phone call this time. Oh, it's my sister. We're going to visit her in the caravan today. All right. Sorry about that. I thought it was work. I thought, oh no, I'm talking about work. It's work, and there's going to be a break-in or something, because it's before 9 o'clock. Okay, so yeah, in a nutshell, I think you should look at your figures. Data, the devil is in the data, and if we can see the problem before it becomes a problem, before it manifests as a problem, then bully to us. And so that's what I feel like we've done anyway. All right, guys, girls, love you, appreciate you. Bye.